According to recent information, the Philippines will receive an initial official security assistance (OSA) worth 600 million Japanese yen, approximately 4 million United States dollars, for a coastal radar system for the armed forces of the Philippines. The agreement was signed by Philippine Foreign Affairs Enrique Manalo and Japanese Ambassador to the Philippines Koshikawa Kazuhiko. Max Defense PH believes that the coastal radar system will be similar to the Coastwatch radar systems, which will utilize tower-mounted surface search radars for maximum coverage and viewing of vessels in a given area. No quantity stated, but based on previous purchases of Coastwatch by the Philippine Navy in recent years, the quantity is likely enough for 2 to 3 radar stations and can be connected to the existing Coastwatch network. This OSA is expected to be the first of many more from Japan, not only for the Philippines but also for other like-minded countries. OSA was established in 2023 as a new cooperation framework for the benefit of armed forces and other related organizations of recipient countries, with the aim of deepening our security cooperation with the countries, creating a desirable security environment, and contributing to maintaining and strengthening international peace and security, by enhancing their security and deterrence capabilities through the provision of equipment and supplies, as well as assistance for the development of infrastructures. This is the first OSA program to be implemented after its establishment. The Philippines faces important sea lanes for Japan, including the South China Sea and the Luzon Strait. To ensure the safety and security of these sea lanes, it is very timely and crucial that the Maritime Domain Awareness (MDA) capabilities of the Department of National Defense, including the armed forces of the Philippines and especially the Philippine Navy, are enhanced for the effective monitoring of these sea lanes and waters. This program aims to provide coastal radar systems to the armed forces of the Philippines, in particular, the Philippine Navy, which is expected to strengthen its coastal surveillance and MDA capabilities and to contribute to maintenance and enhancement of maritime security in the Indo-Pacific region. The leaders of Japan and the Philippines have agreed to start negotiations for a key defense pact that will allow their troops to enter each other's territory for joint military exercises. The move is part of efforts to fortify their alliance in the face of China's alarming assertiveness in the region. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who is on a 2-day visit to Manila, also announced after holding talks with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Friday that a coastal surveillance radar would be given to the Philippines. The country is the first beneficiary of a newly launched Japanese security aid program for allied militaries in the region. Additional patrol boats, defense equipment and radar will be provided by Japan to strengthen the Philippines' law enforcement capabilities at sea, Kishida said. Japan has supplied a dozen patrol boats in recent years to the Philippines, which now uses them mostly to defend its territorial interests in the disputed South China Sea. The Philippines and Japan said Friday they will start negotiations for a defense pact that would allow the countries to deploy troops on each other's territory. Manila and Tokyo, longtime allies of the United States, are deepening the defense cooperation as they seek to counter China's growing military pressure. The accord would create the legal basis for the countries to send defense personnel to each other's territory for training and other operations. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced the start of reciprocal access negotiations following talks in Manila. "We are cognizant of the benefits of having this arrangement both to our defense and military personnel and to maintaining peace and stability in our region," Marcos said, as he stood beside Kishida in the presidential palace. Kishida said the countries also agreed to further boost cooperation between Japan, the United States and the Philippines. Japan would help improve the Philippines' maritime law enforcement capability, including the provision of patrol vessels and defense equipment and technology cooperation, Kishida said. Kishida said he and Marcos Jr. agreed to press efforts to reinforce the three-way security ties of Japan, the United States and the Philippines. Those objectives dovetail with Marcos Jr.'s thrust to strengthen his country's external defense after a series of tense confrontations between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard and naval ships in the disputed South China Sea. President Joe Biden has also been strengthening an arc of alliances in the region to better counter China's assertiveness. The Reciprocal Access Agreement to be negotiated by Japan and the Philippines would allow Japanese and Philippine troop deployments to one another for military exercises and other security activities that could serve as a deterrent to aggression in the region, including joint patrols in the South China Sea. If finalized, the accord would be the most significant boost in the alliance of Japan and the Philippines in decades.